be here with Nante and do a little interview with him. And one of the things that I think is so spectacular about Nante is he followed his passion. And I feel like most people don't even know what their passion is. And even if they do, they have a hard time like going for it.
All right.
So thank you for following your passion. You changed my life.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad. We all change our lives, right? You change your life. People change my life by doing boxing. And like I said before, it was never my plan. And tell you the truth, what happened was I was in a dark place back in the 80s, 89, 90s. And I met this guy from Dallas. This is how it all got started. I met this guy from Dallas. His name is Gary Weber. I think he's like 88 now. So met him, and at that time I was kind of like still not in the clouds. I was still in the clouds. You know what I mean? And he asked me. We had coffee. He wanted to have coffee with me, and I said okay. So he asked me what was my dream. That was back in 1995. He said, "What is your dream? That now that you're straightening out your life?" I said, "I don't really know. That's a big question." You know, and I said, dreams, like I was drinking and pissing out smoking all my dreams away. So he said, "Well, maybe you had something that you like growing up." And I said, "Yeah, I've always fought. I fought on the streets, in school, and I always boxed. I like boxing." And then he goes, "There you go. Maybe you can teach all these kids in the community." And nothing more happened. Nothing was said. It was like in August, in summer of 95. And then came around Christmas time, in December, I had a mail cut from Gary saying, "Merry Christmas to you and your family, season's greetings," whatever, whatever. And I flipped the page, and on the page there was a check for $200. And I said, "Oh, $200. All right." So we was at at the mall with my two kids at that time, three kids, and I was walking around at the mall, and in the corner of my eye, I saw this bag hanging at Champ, that store Champ, and I don't know, my spirit took me in there. Look at the bag. There was one of those old Everlast bag, the canvas bag, and there was a bag glove, jump rope, mouthpiece, hand wrap, the chain, and yeah, it was about $200. So I picked it up.
Yeah.
And I put it in the corner of my house, and then Gary came back for vacation, and he said, "Hey, Gary, thanks for the gift, man. I bought a bag." And he said, "Well, are you working with anybody?" I go, "Not really, because I never hang up the bag yet." And he said, "How are you going to work with anybody if you don't hang up the bag?" So Sunday, that day, I hung up the bag, first bag on the beam right under the house. And the next morning, somebody came knocking at the door. "Hey, I heard you're a boxer. Can you teach me how to box?" So that was the beginning of the first guy. I didn't really want to teach him. I said, "I don't really know how to teach. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a coach. But I know how to box, but I don't know if I know how to coach." So he said, "Come on, come on." So I had him jump in rope. He was pretty good. And then he hit the bag, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I said, "That's it? That's all you know?" He said, "Yeah. I've been learning how to box from Mr. R." And I said, "How much does he charge you for teaching you that?" He goes, $50 a month. And I said, "You're wasting your money." And then he came, he stayed, and he had 4 fights for me with this club, and he never did lose. And then I guess the word on the streets, all the kids from Namo streets, all the kids from Kihei, they heard that I was teaching. This ring wasn't here yet. There was a pool table here.
Oh, fun.
There was a pool table here that we used to use for gambling, whatever. Shoot dice. That was my life. And then so I gave away the pool table to the youth center.
Mhm.
And one day I was walking at Suda's, the old Suda's, remember?
Yeah.
ABC store now.
Yeah.
And I see all my friends waiting for this work from, what do you call it? They were all carpenters, so they're waiting to get called to go to work from the, what do you call that? Anyway, I was waiting for call for work, so I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "Nothing, just school. What you doing now? Still getting in trouble?" I said, "In fact, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start teaching boxing." And they go, "Yeah, it's good for you, man. Good, good. You go work with these kids." And I said, "I'm gonna build me a ring in my garage." Oh, but I don't know how to do it. I said, "Oh, we come and help you build a ring."
Oh, I love it.
And they came.
Yeah.
One weekend they came. They plumbed this thing. We got jackhammers. We had jackhammer the floor, everything, and then they came, did all this. And then a friend of mine came and spliced all the rope. The community just started coming,
Oh.
and then this is how this thing got built.
And this was 30 years ago?
30 years ago.
Wow.
And this is how it was built. And then I started to develop more with the kids. They kept coming and I started to learn more about boxing. And then we started competing. And so, there's a lot of history. I've been offered a lot of different places, big money and stuff. And my heart always told me, this Hawaiian lady told me a long time ago when I first started. She said, your house, your place is where the money is at, where the power is at. You don't need to worry about looking for people. They're going to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of honored that saying from that lady. And so this is it. And then,
now you have a nonprofit, SouthSide Boxing
yes,
Maui. You have about 30 or 40 kids that come every evening. You don't charge them.
No.
It's all.
Yeah, so it's all donation basis and help on the community, In the beginning, it was really hard to ask for help because I didn't know what I'm doing. And I remember the first few letters I sent out, my friend told me, maybe you should send out letters to various companies. I said, okay, I can do that. So I did that. And then he asked me if I had any response. I said, no, not really. So maybe you ought to go knock on their door. It's really humbling myself, right?
Yeah.
My ego started getting, my pride, you know what I mean? No. And then he said, it's not for you. This is not for you. This is for the kids that you train. Yeah. So that kind of gave me the first knock on the door. And I didn't even see it. Maybe it's in this file. And that's how it got started. Now, it got easier. So now we have a 501c3 tax exempt, and it's been pretty good. We've had it now for maybe over 10 years now.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll thank you for having the courage to go knock on those doors and follow it. Because I was a kid 25 years ago and I started with you. And you changed my life. You put my life on a good, looking at nutrition, learning how to push myself, taking care of my mind, my body, my spirit. Yeah. So thank you.
So it's not all about boxing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A lot of those people, kids come over here, they learn more about, you become a trusted servant. In other words, for some reason or another, from training them, working with them, they begin to trust you. Yeah. Because you got to put that trust in them because their life is in your hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're putting them in a setting where it's a war. Mm-hmm. So all these things you talk about, the nutrition, all that sacrifices that we have to do. And also for our parents to trust,
You have their kids.
Yeah, they have their kids that come over here. Yeah, it's been a great journey so far. Going to a lot of different tournaments, state championships. We have a lot of state champions, Golden Glove champions. We got 2 national champions, which is really hard to get. And so we're getting ready to go to another national championship. And,
Where was the 2 national championships?
Out of the winner, the first one was a girl right there, Jazzy. She won in Northern Michigan for that one. And then the following year, she fought. She had to defend herself. She lost in the finals, 3-2 the score.
Oh wow.
Against a California girl.
Oh wow.
So she had the gold and silver. And then I had Micah. I don't know, oh, he's over there somewhere. Micah won Junior Olympic Championship in Reno, Nevada, 2016. So, it's been, the ride is like amazing. Just from my garage.
Yeah.
And my first Golden Glove champion was my son, Rico. He fought in New York. And that was the first of, actually, my first trip coaching a national team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and it's not only kids that you help. I was just talking to a lady who's been training with you for almost 10 years.
yeah.
And she's a mom.
Right.
And you've helped her
Right.
with her nutrition, focus, her mind. And she doesn't compete.
Yeah.
She just trains for health.
Yeah, I work with a lot of different people. Like in the afternoon, we have a lot of the after school program and some of the older kids. But in the mornings, like we have a lot of the adults come. They're gonna start walking in pretty soon. Some compete, some don't. And it's all from just teaching them the basics.
Yeah. And I love what you told me about, like, you want to support people and finding their own style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
being your own person.
We teach all these kids, right? As they grow, as you get molded and seasoned to the years of boxing, somehow they develop their own style. And you teach them the same way to all the kids, everything. But along the way, they develop their own style. If you come and watch all the kids that have trained over the past 5-6 years that they're here, you'll see that, hey, they all got their own style.
I love that.
It's amazing.
And you foster that.
Yeah.
You support that.
Yeah. I don't just, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
You gotta vision your own stuff. You gotta be a creator of your own style. So
you also took another big leap that was really impressive to me, especially now that I'm older. At the time, I didn't fully realize it, but you had a really good job and you left early. You took early retirement.
Yeah, I got hurt.
You got hurt.
I got hurt.
And you decided to go full.
Yeah, well, what happened was I got hurt and I couldn't do any kind of work anymore at what I was doing. And the doctors told me not to do anything because of my neck and my nerves. They said, no boxing, no basketball, no baseball, no running, no nothing. And I said, what? And somehow with all this, I've noticed that I've done this to broken shoulders, broken ribs, neck, shoulder, elbows. And I've noticed that the body has a way of healing itself with my mind. And until today, like sometimes I'm amazed, like I'm still going and, like I've been through all those kind of different pain. And I see people like nurture their pain, like, oh my.
They get invested in their pain.
Yeah, and I noticed that when you don't do that, you just kind of like block it off and, the pain is going to be there. And from teaching, when I'm teaching, like you said, passion, right? When I'm teaching, I don't feel nothing. I'm just right in tune with a person or people, and I'm just in tune in that time of, I invest that time of hour and a half, whatever. And I'm good through the whole time. Because my heart and my mind is happy.
They're connected.
Yeah. So,
what would you tell someone if they're kind of at a crossroads of they know what their passion is, but kind of they're a little bit scared to take the leap?
Follow your dream and listen to your heart, because I think that's what God decided. And don't be ashamed to ask for help, because sometimes doing it on your own is a little bit harder than help. I'm not that smart, but I know a lot of smart people that help me put this thing together. I always say that I'm not that smart. I can outsmart my own self.
You
But-
can, yeah.
But I know a lot of smart people that,
Okay.
you know, when I have ideas, I don't try to just do it on my own.
But that's a unique kind of smart,
Yeah.
right? When you know your limitations
Uh-huh.
and you can ask for help.
Yeah, I
and,
always ask for help
yeah.
and learn how to live for today, just today.
Mhm.
You got today, that's it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday, because yesterday is dead. Today is what you have. You have life today.
Oh, I love it. Mhm.
Today you're living today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're doing things today, so you're good for today. You know, take that. So if you're doing good today, tomorrow gonna come, do the same thing. So this is what I do.
I love
I
it.
wake up in the morning, I'm happy, I got another day. I get to train people.
Yeah.
I get to do it, and I love doing it. And then do it again in the afternoon. Just cycle.
Yeah. Well, thank you for following your heart.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
valued from it, and I know thousands of others have.
Yeah,
So, and I know that wasn't the easiest.
yeah.
Mm.